Everybody, this is AJ Timbs from Horror House Media, also known as DenofTimbs, and today is the first episode of Timbs Tech Talk. And today we're going to be talking about Apple's brand new MacBook Air and their new MacBook Studio. We're also going to be discussing some drumming technology that I have been interested in a while, but haven't really had a chance to discuss. So if you like the premise of this show, when you're done watching it, please make sure to either leave it a like or a dislike, and leave a comment below on what you think of the show. If you think there's any kind of improvements you would like me to do, or if you like the show as a whole, let me know. And also don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Make sure you join the Patreon and join the Discord server. Plus, check out my merch shop. I think you'll like the shirts there. But anyways, so for this first episode, we're going to talk about Apple and DW. First, Apple, because Apple recently released some crazy technology. Their new Mac Studios are nothing short of crazy. So there's nothing short of crazy, especially with the M3 Ultra instead of the M4. Well, I would like to discuss that and kind of give my thoughts on why I think they went with the M3 instead of the M4. But first, before we do that, let's go ahead and pull up the web page. A little something I wanted to talk about is Apple has recently, in case anybody is not aware of, Apple has recently put on the new iPhones that Apple Intelligence is not available yet. At least the smart version of Siri is not. See, there's it advertising the new iPhone and everything. And it should have somewhere down the line. Oh. Huh. That's interesting. There we go. Here's the new Siri. Oh, let's see. Yeah, will be available. There it is right there. The new Siri. That has been temporarily backed up until roughly next year. But we ain't worried about that. Let's go ahead and talk about the new MacBook Airs first, which now has the M4 chip, which is also what's in the laptop I'm using right now to record this video. And I kind of find it interesting that they went with this new light blue color, because according to a couple of reviews I've watched, it's not really blue, it's more silver. If you go into just Josh's video, he shows off that it's really just silver with a light blue tint that sometimes is noticeable, which is really sad. And again, the port selection I think is rather disappointing. Still going with only 2 USB-Cs. I really should have another one on the other side, and I know that's why they give the Pro and everything, but the Pro also has the thicker chassis and also has an HDMI port. It also has MagSafe and all that wonderful stuff. And oh yeah, an SD card reader, so there you go. So we already know the M4 chip is very powerful and yada yada yada. But however, that's not what we're really here to discuss. We're going to talk about the Mac Studio, because this right here is the crazy one. The reason I say that it's absolutely crazy is because, again, the choice to do the M3 Ultra chip versus the M4 Ultra. So I kind of want to go over some of the specs, and I talked a little bit about this on my 10th anniversary stream, but I want to actually kind of give my full thoughts about it. So let's go ahead and switch back over to the page. And we see supercharged by M4 Max and M3 Ultra. The M4 Max, from what I understand, has been a phenomenally powerful chip. Like, it's been extremely powerful. Like, a lot of people have said that that's one of their favorite chips to work with. Although I still know quite a few of my friends who are on the M1, M2. Like, I was on the M1 for the longest time, the M1 Pro. Ignore the fact that my arm is itchy. I was on the M1 Pro for like the longest time, like since 2022, 2023. I was on there for a while because the M1 was just so powerful. I didn't really think I needed more performance. Using the M4 like I have the base M4, I've been stunned, to say the least, on how powerful it is, how battery efficient it is, too. It's crazy to me. It is crazy battery efficient while still being extremely powerful. Like, that is just a testament to Apple's engineering skills and technology skills. But this is the question right here. This is the weird thing. The M3 Ultra, with up to 32 CPU cores, 80 GPU cores, that's a lot of cores, and up to half a terabyte of memory. Now, that part I find very interesting. And then almost having a terabyte worth of memory bandwidth. That is stupidly fast, and that is awesome. Plus, it doubled the basically two neural engines. So, we already know the M4 Max is really good. If you bought the M4 Max on a laptop, then you already know you made a good deal. So there's no reason to really talk about that. It's the M3 Ultra again that I want to discuss here before we move on to the next subject. The M3 Ultra, as Apple says right here, is our most advanced chips, delivers unprecedented power for the most demanding professionals where you're loading massive data sets with large from LLMs, or editing a feature film, or composing a symphony. This chip does it all. And the M3, like right here, I like that it supports 8 displays. Could you imagine for a second? Could you just imagine having a massive monitor set where you got like 8K monitors just going? Well, actually, I think it would be 6K, but could you imagine a 6K or 5K monitor? You got 8 of them just freaking stacked up in a rack, like on a mounted rack in front of you. Oh my God, that's gotta be a dream for a lot of like video, like especially movie. Here's whatnot. I accidentally bought my laptop, so it's off-centered. Like, could you imagine that? That would be crazy good. Like, I would love that. That would be absolutely crazy. But I mean, it gets even more crazy from here, because then we go back to the page. We got up to 24 screens of 8K ProRes video playback. That's insane. So let's take a look at what Apple says during Radio Shift, and then we're going to look up some third-party websites to see what they say. But according to Apple, it's 3D rendering with the new M3 Ultra. Because again, from what I understand, this chip is literally a single chip. This is not two M3 Max chips welded together. If I'm not mistaken, this chip is completely designed from the ground up. It is its own separate design, just like the Max and the Pro and the regular version. So, but according to this, let's get back to the benchmarks here. It says that the Mac Studio with the M3 Ultra is 6.4 times faster than a Mac Pro with a 16-core Intel Xeon W with Radeon Pro W57X graphics card. That's the baseline model. Though, so take that with a huge grain of salt. Its performance in Redshift 5, the M1 Ultra, apparently it's 2.4, and then the M2 Ultra was 3.2, and now this is apparently 6.4. So that's crazy good. LLMs. I mean, honestly, I could care less about that. Data sequencing, neat. When apparently the Intel's like the worst thing ever. So rest in peace to anybody that bought the Intel on that one. Now this right here is the thing I've really been interested in, video editing. I would have liked him to not just show the Final Cut, but what it would have been like with DaVinci Resolve and as much as I hate to say it, Adobe Premiere and a few other video editors rather than just what Apple makes. I think personally that would have been nicer to have seen. But again, that's just me. That's just how I feel about it. AI video processing 9.1 times faster. Again, that's freaking crazy. Now, what about code compiling? How does it do? 3.3 is what it says. So, we're going to, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to take a look at some third-party benchmarks. We're going to take a look at it and see what they have to say. We're going to Pixel, the Mac Studio with the M3 Ultra review, a dream machine for video editors. Now again, I have not read this beforehand. I just found this one, so we're going to take a look at it and see what it says. Apple calls this new M3 Ultra equipped Mac Studio its most powerful computer ever. It's a big claim, and it comes with a price tag to match that. Apple's ambitions create two questions, and we will answer both of them. Is the new Mac Studio with the M3 Ultra truly Apple's most performant computer? And if it is it worth it? Okay, at the heart, so that's pretty interesting that asks a couple questions like that. And God, I hate this is why I love Safari, because at least I'm not being bombarded with ads every 5 seconds. Thank God on that one. But to get back to it, it goes, at the heart of the Mac Studio is the M3 Ultra. You guessed it, it's an M3 Ultra chip. This is notable for a couple of reasons. The M3 series was the last generation. We already discussed that. And it was followed quickly by the we already know about the M4 line. Now, they say it's admittedly odd that Apple's current flagship desktop, sorry Mac Pro, you're in a weird spot, and require an upgrade, is a gross generation machine with a more expensive, better version, spawning older generation chip. It's the first time Apple, let's see, we don't care about the Mac Pro. There's some good reasons for it, though. As Apple told French publication, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, the M4 Max lacks the Ultra Fusion connection necessary to fuse two Ultra chips, Max chips, to create the Ultra. That's like the new M3 is paired. Now, they said it was a whole new chip, so I could be wrong. As for why Apple didn't give the M4 Max, Bloomberg's Mark Gerber, hey, Mark is back. That Apple is reluctant to spend money re-engineering the M4 Max when an Ultra Fusion connector when the M3 already was ready for transition to Ultra, giving the small size of official desktop market. Apple told Pixel that it does not necessarily plan to release an Ultra chip for every generation. Could an Ultra and pop up sometime? Sure, but I wouldn't bet on it. Okay, so they're both on the same, we already know they're both on the same nanometer, 3 nanometers, just the M3 was on the first generation, whereas the M4 is on its second generation, and apparently the ads were killing my laptop. But anyhow, to get back to it, so looking at the Mac Studio, what version did he get? So he got the 32-core CPU, the 80-core GPU, 96 gigs of RAM. Oh, whoa. But they sent one with 256. It could be configured up to 512. Supposing cost of fuck me at $9,499. 1 terabyte of storage has 8 terabytes. Fuck that. So the version they have that has, so in case anybody's wondering at this point, what they're saying is that their version has 32-core CPU, 80-core GPU. They have 96 gigs of unified memory, and they have 4 terabytes of storage. So that comes out to a what? Excuse me. Yep. Let's see. So there's. Ooh. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that is brutal. $8,099 is what it would cost. $8,000. 8,100. Like that's about 8,300 because you got to factor in tax. Because this is not like Georgia tax where it's cheap. This is California tax. This is you're getting fisted kind of tax. So it's really brutal to see that. So that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But if we continue on here, we're gonna see that the other Mac Studio option, that's not bad. Okay, but so there's the two comparing to each other. I apologize, I'm a little bit tired at the time I'm recording this video. The M3 Ultra versus the redesigned Mac Mini with the M4 Pro. You can tell that they literally ripped the design apart. And I like that. I like that both of them look very similar. It looks very sleek and honestly very sexy looking, as the website once again has to reload. And we're just gonna cool down my laptop just a little bit. So I apologize if you get any noise. Let's see. Now, we don't care much about that. Because like you see here, if you want to pause the video and read it. Honestly, so now this is like, again, one of the portions we talked about that we read on Apple's website. It was the Mac Studio with its healthy array of ports. But the M3 Ultra can support up to 8 6K 60Hz monitors or 4K 144 Hz displays simultaneously, or 4 8K 60Hz or 4K and 240 Hz. Wow, that is fucking impressive. And, it also welcomes Thunderbolt 5. Thunderbolt 5 is extremely freaking fast. Absolutely. And so you see right here, as you see right as I'm showing you, it really is one of the most powerful laptops. But the thing about it is, and this is ultimately where I'm going to leave off with it, is that the M3 Ultra is extremely powerful. Not only is it capable of fast rendering, because even talking about Adobe Classroom, it just beats almost everything in front of it. Like, let me pull up the charts real quick so you can see. We're gonna just read this charts, then we're gonna move on to the next portion. If I can kind of zoom this in. If not, so if you look right here, just look at that. Just look at that. This is when the M3 Ultra sits. I mean, it'll take a minute, 2 minutes. This one, like the longest one right here was this Asus ProArt. It takes 2 minutes and 19 seconds. And that's with pictures using a Sony A7R version 6. This right here only took 50 seconds to render that photo. Now the phase 1, we're looking at times as long as, like, look at the MacBook. Like, that's freaking, like, both the Air and the MacBook Pro, the M1, take over 7 minutes, 18 seconds there, and this is 8 minutes there. Look at the Mac Studio with the M3 Ultra, like, barely at 2 minutes, like, rounding up to just 2 minutes. That is crazy powerful. And that should pretty much tell you all you really need to know about the Mac Studio. At the end of the day, I cannot review it, because I don't have $8,000 in my pocket to just randomly spend on that. But as far as I'm seeing and reading here, I really think the product is great. I think that Apple is definitely going to win here, although I would be cautious about how much you spend, and I would suggest watching a few more reviews, especially if you're going to do a lot of video editing, because honestly, you might be better off just with the M4 Max, honestly, unless you really, because if you're going to buy the M3 Ultra, then what was even the point of watching the review or watching this video anyhow? But my overall thoughts on the product is I like the design of the studio as a whole. I think it looks great. As far as the power of the M3 Ultra is concerned, I think it's kind of weird that they didn't have an M4 Ultra and they're not really planning on doing an M4 Ultra. At least not at the current moment in time. I think that's weird. Honestly, I think they should kill the Mac Pro. In my opinion, the Mac Pro really should just die off. Because at the end of the day, to be honest, the Mac Studio is so powerful, what's the point of having the Mac Pro? And the Mac Pro doesn't, to my knowledge, we can go right now and look and see if the Mac Pro has the M3 Ultra chip. I'm going to take a look at the Mac Pro right now. Does it have... No, it's still on the M2 Ultra. It is still on the M2 Ultra. That is a shame. It is a real shame. But anyways, we're going to segue to our next topic. But first, but now we're going to segue to our next topic right after I talk about the sponsor of this video, me. Yes, that's right. I'm totally stealing from another YouTuber that I love watching. Pledge to my Patreon to help support my channel and help support Roll Count Cloud Chasers, and you'll get special privileges in the Discord server that other people don't get. And also, don't forget to check out my merch store. Links below. And if you want to send me a tip, don't make sure you use my link below or hit my link tree on my YouTube channel. Now back to the video. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to talk about the second portion of this video. I said there was going to be some drum topics we were going to talk about. So let me bring up the website. This is DW's website, and we're going to talk about this lovely acoustic kit, but it's also electric. This is DW's DWE kit. This particular drum set is their 9-ply maple drum kit that's made in the VLX pattern, which is that the plies are put in vertical, vertical and diagonal patterns, meaning that the wood grains are either going in a diagonal pattern or going straight up and down. And side to side, obviously. With the idea being that it creates less tension on the shells itself, meaning that when they're made, the drum shells are, the fiber isn't pulling and tugging against itself. It's actually working with itself to kind of lock hands like that, in order to give a stronger bond, while allowing for a more full and low fundamental tone and note of the shell. But this isn't just that. This technology is one of the first few drum kits to ever do wireless electronics, meaning that the drum triggers are built in and they're wireless. They use a wireless system to communicate with your laptop of choice. And this is like the shell configurations they offer. And these are the finishes that they offer. And this is what their cymbals look like. Here is the here is the software, and here's how it. This is obviously what you're gonna get in virtual drums and everything. When you click here, this is what you're gonna see. And it gives you like a list of options of different types of drums and what they sound like, electronic cymbals and everything. But we're gonna go back. The idea behind this is that, oh nice, they're gonna like the Gretsch, the kind of Gretsch and Slingerland, nice, very nice. The whole purpose behind this, and we're going to go back to the original page, the whole purpose behind this drum kit is that for a while now, a lot of drum manufacturers, especially electronic manufacturers like Roland, that recently bought out DW, used wired technology. And while that works great, that means you got to carry a whole bunch of wires and hook everything up and tear it apart at the end of the night instead of just setting up and playing. So the idea that DW was working on was, what if you could do everything wirelessly, like you would with like a wireless microphone, things like that. So the technology, obviously this is a wired microphone, but the point being is, imagine this was a wireless microphone. It means I could go, as long as I'm in, let's say, like 100 feet distance, I can sing and dance and talk and go into the microphone. Well, the idea is, what if you could have that kind of technology built into your drum triggers? So instead of having to hook up wires through the shell and muting the shell in order to properly activate, what if you could use the natural vibration of the shell through the wireless technology to send signals out to the brain in order to record the sound, which, from what I understand, a lot of people have enjoyed, and I wanted to give them a few thoughts about it. As a guy who really loves acoustic drums, I really love acoustic drums. There's nothing more fun than to bash on a set of a 9x13, 16x16, 16x24, and a 6.5x14 snare. Just going to town on real cymbals and just hammering away and pissing off my neighbors while I'm at it. There's nothing quite like it. And I also like electronic kits. There's nothing wrong with like midnight, late at night, and I want to practice, but I can't practice on my acoustic kit. I just pick up my electronic kit and just go at it. But the thing is, a lot of your electronic kits don't really have the finer nuances that acoustic kits do. They don't react the same way that an acoustic kit reacts to. A plastic cymbal that has rubber pads on it cannot vibrate the same way that a thin metal, brass, or bronze, actually. Well, there's people that love brass cymbals, but besides the point. Can't vibrate the same way that a thin metal cymbal can. So the logic is that you can have that kind of feel and technology in the electronic kit, but if you wanted to, you also had an acoustic kit. That's the idea. And I just wanted to comment a little bit about that and say that I think that technology is great, although it is horrendously expensive. You're looking anywhere from $5,000 to $9,000 to buy it. That's a lot of money. And the technology is great and all, but this is the first generation, so there is some issues. Sometimes it can mistrigger, obviously, like anything. And the sounds that come with it seem a little too overproduction. It doesn't feel like an acoustic kit sound-wise. It kind of sounds like something you would hear, like get good drums, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just not my taste, not my forte, so... Again, I would love to review it, but again, $9,000, kind of hard to do that. However, I am getting a new drum in that I'm going to review, and I'm going to review its technology as well, because even though it was made all the way back in the 50s, its technology is very unique to its design, and one of the first few snare drums that kicked off the whole parallel snare beds. But anyways, that's besides the point. That's been the first episode of Tim's Tech Talk. Let me know what you think. Did you like the episode? Did you hate the episode? You want me to jump off a cliff? You want to join my Patreon? Let me know what you think. Check again. Go in the comments. Let me know. Don't hold back. Don't hesitate. I want to know your full thoughts and opinions. And no, I don't really care about your troll comments. So if you're just trolling me, I'm not really going to pay attention. But if you have serious criticisms, or if you have some fun ideas, and if you have technology stories and whatnot you want me to cover, please join the Discord server and use at the information center, you're going to see a little chat box that says Tech News for Tim's Tech Talk. Leave your stories there, and I'll definitely check them out. Next week, I am going to talk about NVIDIA and AMD and the chaos that has been ensuing. I've been waiting a while to talk about it now, and so, yeah, like I said, that's going to be really fun. I'm going to have a lot of articles where you might hang out with some videos. But until then, this is DenofTimbs from Horror House Media, signing out. Have a great one.